Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Today is World Environment Day, a good day to drive home one irony. On World Environment Day, many regions, many states in India are struggling for every drop of water. We are bang in the month of summer with the mercury on the rise. Water crisis has hit several parts of the country, especially Chennai. Now, due to the monsoon deficit last year, several reservoirs across the city of Chennai in Tamil Nadu have gone dry. As a result, people are facing acute water shortages, and most environmentalists say this is just a small piece of a larger picture. Take a look at this report by India Today's Lokpriya Vasudev. In most urban cities, like in Chennai, like in Delhi right here, it is an alarming situation where water is concerned. K.Siddhartha, he's an environmentalist, he's joining us now. Mr. Siddhartha, with what we just saw in Chennai, it's an urban city, an urban water crisis, and Chennai has enough water that it can easily supply itself and also the peripheral area. But always, why is it that cities like Chennai that had the water are unable to do so?
This concerns issues related to two parts. First is the destabilization of the hydrological cycle. That is a gross mismatch between demand and supply, and that has been caused. The second is a more pervasive cause is going to be the water governance. Now, water governance is at the heart of environmental governance, where any program, any part that is being implemented, that is being thought of, any apartment that is being made, before that you don't go on to take a water audit into account. You don't know what exactly is going to be the size of the population that will going to increase and what will be the commensurate increase in the water supply. You don't even go on to project it for 5 years or 6 years of a time. You don't even go on to have a water harvesting technique in all of these cases, and at the same time you go on to keep on increasing the concrete area, whereby the conservation aspects go on to decrease drastically. Now, side by side, when this type of a crisis takes place, then it goes on to become a field day for all of these water mafias which are hell-bent on creating more of a water crisis, even though it is not going to be, because it goes on to suit a lot of interest of the people. A drought is something that everyone wants. A flood
everybody wants everybody loves a good drought, and we're going to come right back to we're going to come right back to you, because we're going to move a little bit away from the urban areas to the rural belt as well. And as Mr. K.Siddhartha was also saying, that nobody quite prioritizes it. We in media houses often are told that you'll never put it put the spotlight on an issue like a drought or a water crisis in prime time. Well, that's all that we're doing today, right here and then at 9 p.m. again. The city of Chennai, let's move to the state of Maharashtra. Now, Maharashtra, in about 70 kilometers from the city of Aurangabad in Marathwada, here is a reality check of the ground reality about the extent of water scarcity in the region and how people risk their lives every day just for one barrel of water.
Once a week, the sleepy little village of Theragaon in Marathwada region's Aurangabad district comes alive.
Seems to be a bit of a mix-up. We're going to try and rectify that, because we were to have you on the water story. Let's cut across to our guest in the studio. We have K.Siddhartha. He's an environmentalist. Mr. Siddhartha, we saw what's happening and that heart-rending story coming in from Marathwada. Similar, situation playing out in Mumbai. We had the same situation playing out, in Chennai, in Delhi. What possibly could be the solution here?
See, ultimately at the heart of all of this solution is improved water governance. Essentially, one has to invest their thinking into why exactly it happens. You can always go on to prevent such type of a situation, provided you go on to take sufficient measures in this case. Now, there is no way that we can now go on to bridge the demand-supply gap. That's not possible. The only solution is management of it, administration of it. You know that the reservoirs will go on to run dry to an extent. So you can go on to regulate that part. Second is you also going to know that how many people are going to be demanding that much amount of water. You can go for water rationing even before that. The third is now while it goes on to take place, you can always going to have some preventive measures of having a good amount of ponds dug up in those type of places. During in Chennai, for example, that is going to be in the winters where water actually goes on to get stored up. Now you have to prioritize also hydel power generation along with water storage because our hydel power plants are meant to do both of these things. Now, in order to generate hydel power, you have to have the whole of the plant brim to the full. And in order to use it water, you have to, in order to control flood, you have to drain the whole of the water so that the reservoir requires a good amount of space for the purpose of doing it so. Now, it is this type of an anomaly that is also going to be responsible for causing such type of a problem. So ultimately you have to go for a good amount of a catchment area of forestation and that is going to be the only solution that we are going to be having it. So water governance that will going to require involvement of the people, toning up the administration, use of a technology in this case and then involvement of the people. That is what will be the only solution. And there is of course there are going to be a lot of long-term solutions because water crisis is what you're going to see is at the minimal level. What exactly can go to happen is if Ganges goes on to run dry, if Chinese go on to stop the flow of water into Brahmaputra. Right. This is something that is no one is thinking right now.
All right. Okay, let's cut across to Darbhanga, Bihar. Even as the northwest India continues to reel under severe heat wave conditions, the Mithilanchal belt of northern Bihar has also not been spared. Darbhanga and Madhubani too are reeling under acute water shortage amidst government apathy and nature's fury. The people of this region are the only casualty, the only collateral. Here's the full ground report.
Rising temperatures across the country have not spared the fertile and chronically flood-hit Mithilanchal belt of northern Bihar.
All right, let's take a final comment from Mr. Siddhartha, our environmentalist in the studio. Mr. Siddhartha, you know, when you come up and throw such figures as, D-Day for Bangalore is 2020. By 2030, there would be 70% decline in drinking clean water for the country. Are these just hyperbole figures or figures just to scare you, or do you see actual truth in them?
There's a lot of actual truth here. The actual truth is because in South India, particularly, the terrain is made of granitic rocks or basaltic rocks where water is going to be stored only in fissures. It's not like that what you're going to see in granitic plain where it is an alluvial formation, and the amount of replenishment is much more less than the amount of withdrawal of the water in that place. Second is the contamination that has taken place in a lot of Bangalore. For example, good number of lakes they have gone completely filthy. They are so toxic that you cannot go to pass by that.
Right.
Can you imagine 70% of the lakes of Bangalore are dead? And can you imagine out of 700 lakes that used to be in Delhi, now are left only 5 or 6 of them. So what do you expect? How is it that you can go to expect nature to be so kind to you if you can go on to be so destructive to the nature? Other than that, of course, we require to have a very good specialist who will go on to be specializing only in some of these type of environmental governance. There is afforestation, water recharge, air pollution, because all of these things are intricately woven to each other in terms of their solution. You cannot go on to separate the Ministry of Forest Resources with Ministry of Water Resources Generation, because ultimately the forest resources are the one which are going to be acting like a sponge to guide all of this water into the groundwater conditions. That's another part. And the last part in this case, use of technology. Whatever that Israelis have done, you have to start disseminating this technology as fast as possible, as early as possible. It is indeed an alarming situation.
Right. All right. Thank you for joining us. As I said, we're going to continue our campaign through the course of this next month, getting you many stories like you saw right here on To The Point.